So, you've got a Mac, a perfectly good Mac that runs just fine, but Apple says it's too old for the latest and greatest software. Well, today we're going to talk about an amazing tool that can totally change that. We're talking about breathing new life into hardware that, still has plenty of fight left in it. Let's get into it. It's a feeling I think a lot of us know. You get excited about the new macOS, you go to update, and bam, you get that message, your machine is no longer supported. And you're just sitting there thinking, but it works fine. Suddenly, you're locked out of new features and even more critical, future security updates. It is so frustrating. You could almost call it the Apple expiration date. It's this line in the sand the company draws where your hardware, no matter how powerful it still feels, is officially considered vintage. But what if you could just ignore that expiration date and push it way, way back? And that, right there, is where this incredible project comes into play. Everybody, meet OpenCore Legacy Patcher, or as most people call it, OCLP. Now, I want you to think of this not as some scary, complicated hack, but more like an elegant translator that teaches your old Mac how to speak the language of modern macOS. This is the key idea right here. OCLP doesn't permanently change your computer. Instead, it cleverly sits between your hardware and the new operating system, but only when you boot up. It intercepts that startup process and says, hey macOS, don't worry about that old graphics card. I'll translate for you. It provides all the missing pieces so that the new OS feels right at home. So how does this translator actually work its magic? Well, it's pretty brilliant. It does a few key things. First, it basically tells macOS that it's a newer supported model. Then it injects the specific drivers for your older graphics card, your Wi-Fi chip, and your Bluetooth, all the stuff Apple removed from the new OS. It can even bring back modern features like Sidecar on Macs going all the way back to 2008. It's wild. Okay, let's be super clear about this because it's important to manage expectations. OCLP x1 is a reversible boot time tool. It is absolutely not a permanent firmware flash that could break your Mac for good. And you gotta remember, while this tool is incredible, it is a community project. It's not officially supported by Apple, so you are venturing off the beaten path a little bit. So, are you feeling ready to give this a shot? Awesome. But wait, before we download or install a single thing, we have to go through a pre-patch checklist. Trust me, a little preparation up front is the absolute key to making this whole process go smoothly. First things first, is your Mac actually supported? Don't just guess based on the year it was made. You need to find your specific model identifier. It's easy. Just go up to the Apple menu in the corner, click About This Mac, then System Report, and you'll see it right there. Take that identifier and check it against the official OCLP support list online. Okay, next up, you have a choice to make. Which version of macOS do you actually want to install? Now, for a lot of older machines, Monterey is going to be your most stable, rock-solid choice. If you want the newer features, Ventura or Sonoma are great options, but you'll definitely want to check the OCLP documentation for any known issues with your specific hardware first. Before we go any further, I need you to stop and look at this slide. This is, without a doubt, the most important step in this entire explainer. Make a full time machine backup, or even better, a complete clone of your hard drive to an external disk. Do not, under any circumstances, skip this step. Seriously, this is your safety net. Assume you're going to need it. All right, with our backup made and our safety net firmly in place, it's time for the main event. We're going to walk through the whole 6-step installation process. I know it might look a little intimidating, but it's actually a very logical, very manageable workflow. And here's the whole roadmap. It's really just this. We'll download the OCLP app, use that app to create a bootable macOS installer on a USB drive, install the OpenCore translator to that USB, boot from it, install the OS, apply some special fixes, and then, finally, make the internal drive bootable all on its own. Okay, I need you to listen very carefully here because this is the single biggest mistake people make. When you get to step 3, build and install OpenCore, the app is going to ask you where you want to install it. Always, always, always choose the USB installer drive first. This keeps your main internal drive completely untouched while you do the installation. Now, after you've installed macOS and you finally boot into your new desktop for the very first time, you're going to run the OCLP app again for step 5. This is the real magic step. The post-install root patches are what fix all the weirdness. They're what get your graphics acceleration working smoothly and what turn your Wi-Fi and Bluetooth back on. This is what makes the system feel native. And for the grand finale, once you're happy and you've confirmed everything works, you'll run that build and install process one last time. But this time, you'll tell it to install to your Mac's internal drive. This copies all that magic over so that you don't need the USB stick to boot up your computer anymore.
So you did it. Your old Mac is now running a modern operating system. That's amazing. But what happens now? Let's talk about the day-to-day and how to maintain your newly supercharged machine.
So you can still get system updates directly from Apple, which is great, but you have a new set of rules to follow. Rule 1, always check the OCLP release notes before you hit that update button. Rule 2, after the update is finished, you must open the OCLP app and reapply the post-install root patches. Don't forget this, it's what keeps your hardware playing nice with the new software. It's also really important to have realistic expectations. While OCLP is absolutely incredible, it's not always perfect. Depending on your specific Mac and the OS you chose, you might run into some small quirks, maybe with Bluetooth or certain USB ports. The official documentation is your best friend here. It'll list all the known issues. And remember that safety net we talk so much about? Well, here's the best part. If you decide this just isn't working for you, the entire process is completely reversible. Because OCLP doesn't touch your Mac's permanent firmware, you can always just wipe the drive, reinstall an officially supported OS, and your machine will be exactly the way it was before you started. No harm done. And all of this brings us right back to this final question. Thanks to the incredible, tireless work of the OpenCore legacy patcher community, the answer is a clear and resounding no. This project gives us, the users, the power to extend the life of our hardware, to reduce e-waste, and to decide for ourselves when our computers are truly done.